utmost gratitude to all the entities participating in the organization of this summit, as Baghdad appeared with this high level of organization. I would like also to indicate the role of the Brotherly Kingdom of Bahrain for their wise chairmanship of the previous summit, and also the role of the Lebanese Republic to host the previous development summit, and also for delivering and handing over the chairmanship to Iraq. I would like to extend my utmost gratitude to both countries. Also, I would like to thank about the people of Baghdad for their warm hospitality. They were the representative of Iraq to the Arab nations, and also to the media platforms. All appreciation for their integral role to convey the picture of Iraq and highlighting its prosperity and stability, providing its stability. Ladies and gentlemen, the Arab Summit came up with different outcomes and resolutions after accurate examination and discussions by senior officials and foreign affairs ministers, as the meetings witnessed close the points of view regarding different political matters. On the political front, the Palestinian cause was at the forefront of the agenda as the central cause of the Arab nations, and the leaders stressed their unwavering support to the rights of the Palestinian people, rejecting all practices that violate the sanctity of their belongings and the opportunities for peace. The summit also focused on the significance of supporting political solutions that preserve the unity and sovereignty of the Arab territories and contribute to prevailing peace and stability, rejecting foreign interventions. In this framework, Iraq would like to praise and hail the role of Oman in the mediation efforts between the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran. And I would like to reiterate the significance of this mediation to reduce the regional tensions and preventing any further escalation, serving the best interests of the peoples of the region and reinforcing the collective peace. Iraq has provided a proposal to form a committee with open membership to manage conflicts and settle disputes inside the Arab world through diplomatic flexible mechanisms to build confidence and reflect our keenness on preserving the sovereignty of the Arab nations, overcoming all disagreements. And regarding the Development, Economic and Social Summit, the outcomes focused on reinforcing the economic Arab integration and developing cooperation mechanisms in the fields of education, healthcare, innovation, artificial intelligence. As the summit reiterated the importance of reinforcing inter-trade and establishing joint economic projects to achieve the economic prosperity, create new job opportunities, and improve the quality of life for the Arab citizen. Iraq has stressed its complete commitment to support these directions and working with the brothers to activate and follow up the implementation of the summit resolutions through the relevant frameworks. Ladies and gentlemen, holding the two summits in Baghdad today is a clear message to the Arab and international societies, saying that Iraq has regained its recovery and started a new phase of integration with the Arab nations. It is a message stressing that the stability witnessed in Iraq today in different cities and institutions was not a coincidence but a result of a lot of sacrifices and hard work for years. The stability is the main pillar that paves the way to attracting new investments and strengthening the investment opportunities and opening horizons to develop relations with brotherly and friendly countries. We in Iraq believe that prosperity cannot be achieved except with cooperation, and the future of our nation lies in solidarity, integration of efforts, and in conclusion, I would like to stress that Iraq will be an open home for all the brotherly countries, embracing them with hospitality. Iraq is a country of pride and civilizations of long years, and it reiterates its commitment to strengthen the brotherly ties with all Arab countries, building real partnerships that serve the interests of our peoples. Thank you so much for attending. And now I have a brief regarding the announcement of Baghdad. If you allow me, I will read for you this brief. The anticipated Baghdad announcement, the declaration includes political, economic, and the initiatives launched by Iraq. Three aspects. First, the political aspect. It focuses on the Arab cause, the Palestinian cause, that we have demanded an immediate cessation of all hostilities against the Palestinian people and allowing an unhindered flow of humanitarian aid to the entire Palestinian territories without any conditions. Also focusing on different other Arab issues, especially in Syria, Libya, Somalia, and Sudan, stressing the importance of respecting the sovereignty and unity of their territories, focusing on regional issues, the escalating tensions on the international arena indicates the decline of diplomacy in exchange for rising power, which warns the risk of the lack of political paths. And we support the talks between Iran and the United States of America to reach positive outcomes to the use of nuclear power for peaceful uses. Also, we would like to appreciate the role played by Oman in these talks, as we welcome the diplomacy efforts exerted by Oman to reach understandings in Yemen through mediation with the United States of America, which ends the state of tension and facilitates the navigation in the Red Sea, which comes under the directives of the Iraqi government to support the peaceful solutions for regional conflicts, which is the principle on which the Iraqi state is based on to reinforce peace in the region, contributing to joint understanding and relying on dialogue as a mechanism to settle disputes. And we have stressed the importance of close cooperation with the United Nations and its agencies, and committing to the UN Charter principles as well as the international law to preserve the peace and security, supporting its efforts to address the international and global challenges, including achieving the International Sustainable Development Goals 2030, climate change, environment protection, human rights, food and water security, renewable energy, and peaceful use of nuclear power. Secondly, the economic aspect, focusing on the outcomes of the development and social summit, which included around 28 resolutions that were considered and studied, and respective decisions were made through the agenda focusing on the joint Arab actions. Third, the initiatives launched by the Republic of Iraq, as this is the last part of the declaration, including the initiatives launched by the Iraqi government, which will operate in cooperation with the Secretary of the Arab League and the Arab nations to reinforce the joint Arab actions. These initiatives include forming an open membership committee with the chairmanship of Iraq and the Kingdom of Bahrain, and His Excellency Secretary General of the Arab League, and all the states desiring to join the committee to approach the views between the brothers to settle any disputes and prevail tranquility. The second project is the economic reform project aiming at building an Arab economic integrated economy that is dynamic and competitive. Third, launching the Arab initiative for social and development support based on Arab solidarity in the time of crises, in the critical timing that most Arab countries are facing, such as Yemen, Syria, Sudan, Libya, and Lebanon, and reiterating the previous calls by the Iraqi government to establish the Arab Fund to support recovery and reconstruction. The Iraqi government announces the contribution of 40 million US dollars to the fund. 20 millions of them are allocated to the Gaza reconstruction and humanitarian relief, and $20 million for the reconstruction in Lebanon. In conclusion, launching the Arab Initiative for Food Security of Seeds to reinforce the food security in the Arab region by agricultural policies integrated and supported by scientific research, with practical and applicable measures so that the future generations can actually secure food and water sustainably. Thank you very much for listening, and now I would like to welcome His Excellency Secretary General of the Arab League. The floor is yours. Very briefly, His Excellency the Minister, I would like to express my deepest gratitude in the name of everyone who participated in both summits for the hospitality and the organization and the respectful Iraqi performance. You have talked about the return of Iraq to the Arab parameter and the Iraqi recovery, and I can testify that what we have observed in this incredible city, Baghdad, the capital of Iraq, reflects this recovery. However, the other side of recovery that raises attention is the vitality of the Iraqi diplomacy in its performance to prep for this conference and then during the proceedings of the conference. Some may not observe that Iraq was the first Arab state to have the chairmanship of both summits, the political and the development, to the next period, whether the next year on the political front or the next 4 years on the development front. So my utmost congratulations for these measures. the fund proposed by Iraq, whether the fund for Palestine and Lebanon or the fund for the Palestinian orphans. There was an idea of establishing a fund to handle the 40,000 orphans in the Gaza Strip, and it was ratified. It is another praisable step. Summit and the Secretary of the Arab League will address also reflect the identity that was evident during the past period in the Iraqi respectful performance. My heartfelt congratulations for the convening of both summits and our wishes for successful chairmanship for the 12 months on the political front and the 4 years for the development front. Thank you. If you'd allow us to receive some questions, only six questions, three from each side. If you can mention your name and your entity. Good evening, Your Excellencies. I am Siham Warsadi. My question is regarding the economic aspect. The Arab leaders stressed today the necessity of developing the Arab trade area and completing the requirements to establish the customs union. And today, the Arab leaders is in dire need for such initiatives, especially during the difficult economic situations after the implications of the Russian-Ukrainian war and the Israeli aggression against Gaza. What are the mechanisms and measures taken in this regard? The mechanisms is intensifying activities because we already have the mechanisms set and the frameworks adopted, but the Arab commitment to activate and make the trade area operating. A lot of states now are joining the agreement and ratifying its proceedings on the basis of the agreement. So I am optimistic, also optimistic through the economic unprecedented conditions the world is seeing. We have never seen all of these confrontations regarding the tariffs, the customs, and the economic confrontation taking place between the major powers of the world and also with the rest of the economies around the globe. You can see the global confusion. All of this imposes on the Arabs the need to unify the efforts. And I can give you an example of the Arab intentions to do so is the Arab performance today, meaning that Iraq is proposing ideas, the Arab countries are discussing, and then we can see them adopted as projects. The idea of the Council for Ministers of Trade is a very good idea, and our role here is to ensure that there is no double standards, and automatically the ministerial council will be launched. And you're aware that when ministerial councils are formed and operationalized, they're always very beneficial and useful to the peoples because they unify the thoughts between the ministers and all Arab governments and enable them to coordinate among each other, to exchange views and ideas and procedures that are applicable on the level of each society. So I am optimistic as a result of the outcomes of this summit, whether the economic or political summits. I think my brother is from Oman, right?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. عبد الله
Peace
غفان الروسي
be
تفضل
upon
معك.
you.
نتكلم اليوم عن الجانب الإعلامي مع أن
We're
الإعلام
talking
اليوم
about
يمثل
today about the
العالم
media
بأكمله
platforms. The media is
واليوم
leading the
وسائل
entire
الإعلام
world. We
طغت
can see
عليها
the media
جوانب الإعلام
platforms
التقليدي مع أن اليوم الإعلام
or
التقني هو
traditional
السائد
media
في الوطن العربي وهو يوصل للمواطنين أسرع
is
من استخدام الصواريخ
prevailing in the
والأسلحة.
Arab world.
ليش ما يكون هناك في تحالف أو في
Why
فريق
aren't
إعلامي
why
عربي
isn't
حقيقي
there an alliance,
يسلط الضوء على
a
كل ما هو
a real media
ثقافة
alliance in the
محرضة
Arab
أو فكرة أو
world to
سياسات
preserve
تنحى الدور
our
الاجتماعي
culture
ليس
and
اليوم
the
دور
social
اجتماعي
role
مع الإعلام الغير
of
ناجح يعني مثل ما
the
قلنا قتل
meaningful
المجتمع
media?
العربي. والشيء الآخر أحيانا الوطن
My second
العربي
question is that
يحاول
sometimes the
إيجاد
Arab world
مقاطعات
tries
ومنتجات
to
وإلى آخره
boycott some
والمقاطعات هذه
products.
التجارية والاقتصادية
These
تأثر على بعض الدول بس
economic
كيف
and trade
إعلام حقيقي
boycotts
يوجه الشعوب هذه
impact
اليوم
some
الإعلام يعني مثل ما قلنا
states.
في
Why
إعلام
don't
عاطفي
we have an
وإعلام سياسي
effective
وإعلام
media
يعني
platforms
يعني
playing these
متنوع
roles?
فلما يكون عندنا إعلام عربي قوي هو يوجه الشارع ما لازم يكون إعلامنا الرسمي الموجود اليوم في القنوات الرسمية ولكن إعلام مثل ما قلنا على
The
مواقع
media
التواصل
today,
الاجتماعي
as
عموما.
stated in the social media,
أتمنى وصلت الصورة.
in my opinion, your question regarding the media, as if the media so far is directed, it is difficult to talk about directed media in our current day. The media is now accessible to everyone, so it's difficult to actually control the media because the media is free, in fact. Peace be upon you from News channel. My first, it's only one question. We have only 3 questions for each side. Please, Mr. Secretary, for the Arab Joint Defense Initiative and these initiatives to bring back the Arab Joint Initiatives, are there any obstacles and can we overcome the challenges and the conflict of interest between the Arab nations, and can we see once again a unified Arab army, or is it a far reach? For His Excellency the Foreign Minister, 18 initiatives were launched from Baghdad for the Arab support. And for the official stance of Baghdad, was Iraq able, after these challenges witnessed in the region and in the Arab world, to have a new political strategy? If you'd allow me, Your Excellency. The Maz here mentioned the Joint Arab Defense Treaty, also the Joint Arab Power, and when will we see it? The Arab Joint Power or Force was an idea launched in 2015, and there was a long dialogue, and it was discussed. And there were a lot of discussions, and these led to a certain moment that it might happen, but in proper time. And back then, the right time for the relevant stakeholders, they saw that it can be put on hold So it's frozen for the moment. But if it's proposed by any state, they will go back to the discussion table. The development path is an international development the investment project. Of course, there are states showing interest for development projects because of their geography, but there are investments, foreign investors uh, who have interest in the Arab development path. The idea was proposed during the summit, of course, and discussed for the storm. It's now away from Iraq and it's safe and stable. Your Excellency, you allowed me to ask one question, a joint question. How did Iraq read the message? There has been info. There was info regarding that Iraq cancelled the summit between Egypt or Jordan and Iraq. What are the reasons behind this cancellation, and how do you describe the participation level in the Baghdad Summit? First off, we are very glad with the participation of all Arab states on different levels, which is natural, in fact. Before the summit and now in all Arab summits, never all the presidents participated. So today, all states participated on different levels. For the trilateral summit, we were unable to convene it, but I would like to stress that the trilateral summit will be convened soon. Mr. Secretary General, from Sputnik Agency, President Putin, before the convening of the summit in Baghdad, he invited for an Arab-Russian summit. What is an Arab-Russian summit next autumn? How did you see this invite, and what is the significance of it? We would like to thank President Putin and as well as the Chinese president, as he sent two congratulations messages to support the Arab Summit. As for the Arab-Russian Summit, it was proposed to be held in October in Russia. So we will examine this matter, and there will be an announcement soon to approve the convening of the summit. Thank you so much, Your Excellency the President and Your Excellency Secretary General. I have only one question. How do you see the relation between the Arab League and China? And as we are aware, the Chinese president sent a congratulation message to deepen the relation and cooperation between China and relations. You ask about the Arab League and China, correct? It's a very good relation, distinguished by different ties. There is an Arab-Chinese forum where all Arab states participate with China. It's convened either by China or one of the Arab states. The last forum was convened last year in Beijing, and a several number of Arab presidents and the Chinese president attended, and there is an Arab-Chinese summit held in Riyadh in 2019. in Riyadh between the Chinese president and the Arab leaders, and there is an invite from China to convene a summit next year in Beijing between the Arab nations and China as well. It's a distinguished relations by a lot of cooperation. And tomorrow, for example, I'm meeting the member of the political office of China in Cairo, and before my arriving here, or a couple of days ago, I met with the head of the Chinese television union, and we have different relations in all fields. Thank you very much.